Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Ooh, I'm off kilter. Well, hello everyone. Let me move this. And yes, I'm in like a... I like this though. It's kind of Zsa Zsa Gabor, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, there are a few people watching. I'm wearing the heavy jacket and now the suit jacket because I literally just walked in the door from work. So, am I going to be... Oh, look at these frickin' bra straps. Am I going to be too cold if I just wear a normal shirt? But I don't want to be so formal. But okay, let me put on the heater. We should be good. Because I just walked in the door, Pimp Flame of Liberty. I got my girls working outside. Because I just walked in the door, I am not nearly prepared for... I'm just not liking the way this whole setup is. I've never... Look, see, because like my head's getting cut off. Whatever. Just deal with it. Since I just walked in the door, this isn't going to be a terribly prepared show. But I think you guys are kind of used to me just being very freeform. But I'm out of breath. I ran in to do this so quickly. And I have to be honest with you. Dollar bills. Work that pole, girls. I've always been completely honest with you. This past week, I haven't had a good time. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, and this is just something I've always had. I suffer from anxiety attacks, and I'm like hyperventilating right now. It's not because I'm nervous about the show. It's not just because I ran in from work. I'm just having a hard hard time this week with anxiety. And usually that's not prompted by anything. Like, I could be at the most relaxed time in my... Anybody who's had anxiety attacks knows how this is. You could just be chilling, watching TV, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're going to have a heart attack. Your heart just starts racing, and you can't breathe, and you just got to go walk. Now, I do have lots of reasons for anxiety right now. I mean, the whole LNC thing, but I'm not blaming them because generally... Or even that situation. It could be, though. It could be exasperated by that. But anxiety issues often aren't really triggered by anything that you're aware of. So just so you know, if I seem a little out of breath, if I seem a little like on edge, it's because I've been having a very, very, very bad week with anxiety attacks. And hopefully some of you can relate. I'm going to try a different camera here, see if I like it better. Now, see, now that's too far, isn't it? Wait, hold on. We're going to experiment a little here. I mean, let me zoom. Yeah, I like this better. What do you think? I don't like the color on it, though. Let's see if we can fix the color. The brightness is too bright. That's way too bright. Let's try doing that. Let's do the temperature a little warm right there. What do you think? Tint. No, that's too pink. Right there. Saturation seems a little... I like this better. What do you think? I like this better. What does gamma mean? That's gamma. Okay, we're going to leave it at this. I think I like this better. What we're doing today is something we haven't done in a long time, and it's a history show. That's my first love. Talking about... And I'm going to laugh about an accusation here as well, because I deal with things with humor. The accusation used to be, before the false accusation, that I was using LNC drama for profit. Like, I have to manufacture drama, believe me. The LNC is its own drama manufacturing machine. The accusation used to be that I was using party resources that only I had access to make money off of history, when the fact is, everything I use on my show is public. It's on Lpedia. And the things that aren't are things I bought with my own money that I make public and put on Lpedia. Anyone could do a similar show, and I wish you would. We need more LP history. You don't need just my perspective. So anyone out there is really interested in party history and thinks there's some kind of great living to be made at this, please start a competing show. It wouldn't even be a competing show. It would be a complimentary show. So what we're doing today is going to be LP News, November, December 1973. Yo, Mike, and yo, Frostman. What else did I have to say? I'm not sure there's anything really I had to say. As I said, I'm not completely prepared. More on the personal side so far. It's only my second day at this job. But oh my God, what a difference from my prior job. Like, the people are nice. They don't work you like a slave. They treat you with respect and like a human being. I haven't had that, I didn't realize how badly my former job traumatized me till I started this one. And that's why I quit. Like, I quit before, I didn't have another job. I just quit. I couldn't take it anymore. And I thought I'd have another job within a few weeks. I quit I quit the beginning of June. It's been almost 6 months since I've been without work. And thank you. Let me put your chat up here. I just screwed up after 16 days of eating keto by having, I don't even know what that is. Poutine? What is poutine? It sounds southern. I don't know what it is, but thank you for the dessert money. If you didn't know, my husband does keto. He cheats sometimes, but when he's doing it, he loses a lot of weight, and he says he feels a lot better. I would love to try it, but anyone with autism knows you have weird food issues, and you can't restrict yourself because there's Let me tell you, there was one time, there was like 3 weeks when all I would eat was bacon. That's all I could tolerate. Oh, so Ryan says it's French fries with gravy and fried cheese. That sounds delicious. So I can't do any kind of restrictive diet because of my autism. Because sometimes there's just some foods I can't tolerate. But I can do intermittent fasting, which helps. But I haven't been able to lose weight. So I'm going to have another thyroid test done because I already have low thyroid. I think it's gotten worse. I might actually have progressed to the point of having Hashimoto's because even if I starve myself, I don't lose any weight. I used to be able to lose weight so easily. Now I know that all changes with hormones and all that, but God, all of this is going to be too much information for you guys. Please don't listen. I'm always TMI. I do hormone replacement therapy, so like that shouldn't be an issue. And for you ladies out there, or even for you guys, this is so TMI. Oh my God, this wasn't supposed to be a sex education show. For some women, after a certain age, they just lose all interest or things become painful. And it used to be that hormone replacement therapy, like taking supplemental estrogen, used to be thought to cause breast cancer or other kinds of cancers. There's new therapy out there called Bioidentical Hormones. And what they do is it's a pellet and they shove it in your, not in your ass, like in your ass, not in the entrance. They make a slit in your butt cheek and insert it under the skin. And let me tell you, it's been a life changer for me. It really has. But none of this is going to surprise you guys. In getting all the testing done for being able to get the hormone therapy, it turns out that I have more testosterone than most men. Maybe that's why I'm so aggressive. I don't know. But I have, what is it? Crap, what's that thing women could get? Polyovaric something, which can make it difficult to get pregnant, but it also means you have elevated testosterone levels. So there you go. When I say I have more balls than a lot of men, I might not have the balls, but I have the hormones for them. Oh, I didn't know Susan Somers is a huge bioidentical hormone advocate. It's really changed my life in a lot of ways. It's been great. PCOS, yeah. Apparently I have that too, and that's what causes elevated testosterone. So anyway, any of you guys or any of you women who are of a certain vintage, as I am, you might want to check out the bioidentical hormone stuff. It's not covered by insurance, but it's well worth it. And if you're in Colorado, I go to some place called Colorado Medical Solutions. They also are, they do, yeah, we're going to do the I'm not a crook stuff. They do also anti-aging things, you know, all of that kind of cutting edge medicine stuff. So I highly, highly recommend it. FYI. Okay, so now we're doing the LP history. Oh, I've got another announcement for you, but I really need some caffeine first. As you guys know, I'm trying to do YouTube and activism full time. It's not going to happen with just this channel because it's very, very niche. And I love you guys. You're my core audience. But I'm never going to be a channel that has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You know, the LP doesn't even have 30,000 members, okay? So, there's something I'm a really big fan of that I know some of my listeners aren't fans of, and it is music reaction videos. I love watching people who aren't exposed to certain genres of music hearing it for the first time. And it seems like that category of YouTube is mostly dominated by young black couples or black men that are listening to like music that's typically thought of as like white rock and roll music for the first time. And I love the reactions. So I was joking with Wayne saying, wouldn't it be great if a couple well, he's a boomer and I'm an almost boomer, did one of our own, but instead of that, we listen to music that young black people like. So you have these young black people listening to things that older white people like. Wouldn't it be cool to have some older white people listening to the youth music? Now, my husband doesn't think there's any such thing as good hip hop. I like hip hop, but we're going to do it a little different, I think. I kind of talked to him about it, but I think him and I are going to do a channel together where we're going to expose each other to different kinds of music. Like, for instance, I freaking hate jazz. Apparently, there's good jazz. So Wayne will introduce me to some of that. I'm going to introduce him to what I think is good hip hop. And I like some gangsta rap too, Mike. I really like hood music. I think there's some raw emotion there that is culturally significant and can be good music. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. If not, Wayne and I will enjoy it. So I don't know when we're going to start this. I don't know what we're going to call it, but I hope you guys will tune in. It will be a totally different thing, and it will be something that Wayne and I can do together. I didn't used to like Elvis. Then I found some songs, because H. Reardon mentioned Elvis. His song, I think it's called In the Ghetto. Oh my God, is that a powerful song? I didn't know that was Elvis. So there's going to be things like that he and I are going to do. I never even heard it. What do you mean Dixieland? Do you mean like bluegrass? I like bluegrass. I don't like country. But I like folk and I like bluegrass. Wayne's a huge country fan. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. Another channel I'd like to start, but I have not yet found a co-host, because this is the only channel I want to do on my own. I don't want to do other channels on my own. Oh, Dixieland Jazz. Never heard of it, so I guess I will. Like, let me tell you the type of jazz I've been introduced to. Crap, what's that? Name some jazz bands on here, you guys. Chick Corea. I can't stand it. Nothing in the world will ever make me like Chick Corea. Wayne also introduced me to Sade. No, not Sade. I like Sade. Bastia, I think is her name. Hate it. Nothing's going to make me like that. Nothing. I'll listen to it. Never heard of Count Basie. Duke Ellington I've heard of, but never listened to. I heard the song When the Saints Go Marching In. I don't consider that jazz, though. But we'll see. You guys get the idea. It seems like there's interest. So we're going to work on that. Wayne is also working on his own channel for real estate. Because Wayne is one of the most knowledgeable realtors I've ever met. And I'm not just saying that because he's my husband. And it's not to pimp his real estate business. It's to educate people on real estate. So, I'm sorry, my allergies have this time of year, for some reason, allergies just get me. Oh, so hopefully I won't be sneezing too much. And if I have a red nose like Rudolph, that's why. I haven't been snorting cocaine. I wish I was snorting cocaine, but I haven't been. I'd be having a whole lot more fun. Okay. The other channel I want to do, but I have not yet found the right co-host. When I came up with Cultivaro on R, I immediately knew it had to be Mike. That was easy. But I want to do a language / history show. Like talking about, almost like that podcast, The Away with Words, but shorter. More like daily, where We'll talk about etymology. We'll talk about the history of words. We'll just fall in love with words. And I want to start with like archaic words that we'd like to bring back into the language. Like, for instance, this isn't really an archaic word, but it's a word that's not used much. Avens wrote to me today on something completely unrelated, but she used the word janky. That's a word that needs to make a comeback, janky. So things like that. But I haven't found the right co-host. I haven't yet found a person that has the same weird love of language mixed with history that I do, that has a personality that would complement me. So one of you guys out there might be that person, or you might know some defenestrate. That's a good one too, Ryan. So one of you guys may be that person. One of you guys may know that person. I want to do a daily show though, and I want it to be daily in a different way than Cultivar ONR. Cultivar ONR, sometimes we record 14, 15 episodes at a time and I just break them up. I would like this to be like actually daily. Like where me and somebody get online every day, or maybe every other day. I don't know. At like 9 o'clock or something. And we do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. So if you know anybody, I'm just waiting for the right person. I already have the name for the show. I already have it all planned out. I just need a good co-host. The right co-host is essential. And it doesn't need to be a guy. Sometimes, though, I think having two different genders can be beneficial because there's such different perspectives sometimes, but it can be another woman. It all depends on the right person. And I have not yet found that person yet. And I have to tell you, if such a candidate has never listened to A Way with Words, then they don't love words as much as I do. Or, that's the wrong way to put it, in the same way that I do. Okay, I think that's it for my announcements, and none of that was grifting. I need to grift. Let me grift. I'm going to pull up something so I can grift, okay? Give me a minute. If it will come up, and if it won't come up, because I give up way too easy on my grifting. I'm such a shitty grifter. Give me 1 second to log into something here, and I am getting cold with just this on. Okay, go to storefront. Hold on. I'm trying to grift some of my merchandise here. And I've got another idea for merchandise, by the way. I need some designers. View store. Okay, I'm going to grift my merchandise now. I want to show you some things that you guys should buy. And I'll be completely upfront with you about how much I make from these. Okay. That's not coming up yet. Here we go. So here is my Teespring store. Obviously, there's the Decorum shirts. I want to pull one of them up just so you could see. It's just one-sided. But that's what it looks like. It's hard to see from this picture, but the Statue of Liberty is holding a middle finger up. Let me see if I can make this bigger. And yeah, you can. You could see, and is wearing my glasses. Let me see if I can make it even bigger. That's what she said. See, she's wearing my glasses and middle finger. This was designed by Top Lobster. He is such a talented designer. He's designing another shirt for me right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's going to be good. Okay, you can get that in black as well. But that isn't what I wanted to show you. Here, this is always a shirt everyone needs to have. Get your very own Nick Sarwark Noda shirt. I don't even own this one yet. But, yeah, because he put out that Defy shirt. I don't know what he thinks he's defying. But here's your Nick Sarwark Noda shirt. Get it for convention. We also have a Noda phone case. even in the newest iPhone. Maybe I'll get that for my iPhone because I need a new iPhone case. And here's your Nick Noda face mask. Come on. Now here's another shirt that I like a lot. I want to tell you the history behind it. Okay, the shirt says, grab the pine, get the quills. If you see that porcupine there, that porcupine was the original logo for the Libertarian Party of Colorado. It's Stephen has the shirt in the mug. I knew one person bought it. I think you're the only person who did. Maybe I've sold 2 of them. I don't make a great I'm going to tell you all like the price, the profit margins on these things at the end. I did sell this shirt in pink to somebody here in Colorado, but this porcupine here, I have no idea who designed it, but it was originally designed for the Libertarian Party of Colorado. And I like it better than almost any of the porcupine logos I see today. Okay, let's go back, but I wanted to show you some of the newer stuff. And of course, you can get that in all different things. Oh, yeah, then there's this one, which I love, which says, say decorum one more time, I dare you. I've sold a few of those. But this is the newest one that I want you to buy. I showed it in my show last night. It says, if it takes an asteroid hitting Earth to get rid of Karen Ann Harlos, then I will vote for that asteroid. To show that I can take a joke. So that's all. It's monetize the asteroid hate shirt. So this is my merchandise store. And so for instance, if you were to buy this shirt for $24.99, I make about $11.50. That's decent. So you really do help out the show and get a cool shirt while you're at it. I want to also show you guys some Cultivar O&R merchandise you can get. I'm really eating up my time here. I don't have that much time for the show tonight, but that's okay because we can do bonus episodes. This was more for me just to hang out with you guys, I think, tonight. I just felt like having company. But we're going to get to the show in one moment. I want to show you one other thing. I have to grift. I just got to figure out how to log out. I am not good at Teespring. I know the market is small, H. Reardon, but that's because I have a niche, and I like my niche. I'm very happy with my niche. So yeah, it does. It's like it's QVC tonight, isn't it? Yeah. We're gonna be done with this in just one moment, though. But I know a lot of you guys aren't aware of all of this stuff that's available. So I wanted to show it to you guys. Stores. So we're going to the Cult of R-O-N-R, and this pays for Mike and I's beer and pizza money. Okay, let me go back here, and then we'll be done with QVC, and we're going to talk about Nixon. Let me pull back up my screen here. Okay, so here's the classic Cult of R-O-N-R. The Cult of R-O-N-R. Call the question, bitches. To me, that's my favorite. I have this shirt. You can get it in pink, just in case. That you have to wear to conventions. Now, everyone who goes to a Libertarian convention will get that. So we have that in multiple colors. But here's the newest one that I don't think a lot of you guys have seen. It says, is that a gavel in your pocket? Or are you happy to see me? And that's it for the QVC tonight. Now, come on. Everyone needs that shirt. Everyone needs that shirt. You've got to make Cultivar. You have to make Robert sexy in some way. Yeah, I would sell bright pink condoms. You know what? I want to sell like, we almost did that actually in Colorado in our swag bag. We were going to put in condoms and rolling paper. I think I got voted down on that one. Okay, so tonight, LP history. I was going to queue up some videos for you guys. And I'm going to do that while I'm just talking with you, because this is right in the middle of the Watergate scandal. And can you imagine being brand new Libertarian Party right when that was breaking? That shirt not only worn by a woman, it could be worn by anybody, really, as long as you're secure in your sexuality. You can be a heterosexual man and think a gay man might be happy to see you. It all just depends upon, your makeup. I think it could be worn by anybody. Okay, let me see here. I am not a crook. That's what I'm looking for. It could definitely be worn by a gay guy. But let's find some good I am not a crook clips here. Well, here's one of a bird saying they're not a crook. All right, we're gonna just play some I'm not a crooks to get us in the mood. And the reason why I'm on limited time is I'm meeting with an affiliate tonight. I'm not gonna say what affiliate. Heretics in the Temple, I'll make that. If I could have a designer do it for me, it's better than my shirts, believe me. Okay, let's see. Here's a parrot disco. Let's see what disco has to say about I'm not a crook.
I am not a crook. I am that's a baby bird. I'm not a crook. I am that's baby bird. I'm not a baby bird, not a crook.
He's not a crook. So Disco the Bird is not a crook. And here is Nixon.
Well, I'm not a crook.
I beg to differ with you, dear sir. Let's see if we have any other. Oh, here is, it looks like maybe a music mix-up. Let's see. I don't know if this is good or not.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. I'm not a crook.
Okay. All right. So we had a mix-up there. Not a mix-up, a mix or whatever you want to call it. Let's see if there's anything else. There's his resignation speech. So I think we got the whole I'm not a crook thing going down here. But what we're going to do, it was some decent techno, and I like techno, and Wayne does not like techno. But what we're going to do right now while I have you guys here is we're going to pull up the LP news that we're going to be talking about, because I haven't had time to do this yet. As I said, this is all public for all those people who kept lying about me saying I was using private information. Okay, LP News, November, December. View PDF. It's taking a minute to come up. All right, so here we go. Number 17, that's why this is issue, or did I say episode number 17. Youngstein, 5th in a 9-way New York race. Let's just flip through first to see what's in this LP News. We'll decide what to cover this episode, and the rest we'll cover in another. It looks like they changed their masthead. Does that look different to you? Hold on, let's go back. I think that masthead looks a little different. See, I don't know. Doesn't the font look a little different to you? That looks like a fatter font on that older one. I could be wrong. I like looking at things like this and seeing when they change. No, maybe not. It looks a little different, but it could be just the way it was scanned. So then we got Spotlight on State Parties, as we normally do. The LP of Canada. The Mideast War. Keep us out. Oh, check this out. How now, Ayn Rand? Haha. I think they roast Ayn Rand there. New Life members. Ludwig von Mises, an unsung genius. Heroes and mainly villains in Congress. Making of the President is a bore. Disappointment. Political perspective. Poor Richard's albatross. Okay. Bits and pieces. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is you know what? I think we're just going to cover the spotlight on state parties. I feel like talking about state parties tonight. And we'll do the rest of this in bonus episodes, since I don't have a great deal of time tonight. So let's look at spotlight on state parties, because some of these might be yours. And I love reading about the growth of the party. So Alaska LP members in Fairbanks have filed an initiative petition with the city clerk to place on the ballot a proposition which would make all city tax increases subject to approval by the electorate before they became effective. Now, we have that in Colorado right now called TABOR, which is the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. The Alaska Party has also been active in the Alaskans for Independence movement, secessionists. They were not scared to use that word back then. Alaskans for Independence has endorsed the congressional candidacy. That's interesting. They're endorsing a New Jersey guy, New Jersey LP Chairman Bob Steiner, who has come out in favor of the secessionist movement. Independence for Alaska bumper stickers are available, and it gives an address. I'd love to have one of those stickers. Arizona LP circulated leaflets opposing the Tucson City Attorney's tax-consuming crusade against topless entertainment and received a write-up in the Tucson Daily Citizen as a result. Because your donations that you give me help to pay for a monthly newspapers.com subscription, so you know what some of your money goes to. That's $25 a month. I will look up to see if I can find this write-up. I got to put back on my pimp jacket because I'm getting cold. I know I'm not on the screen, but when I come back on the screen, you'll see I'm wearing my pimp jacket. So we might be reading that Tucson Daily Citizen if it's available on newspapers.com, which, just point of trivia, is owned by the Mormon Church. Not Tucson Daily Citizen, newspapers.com is, because it's a branch of Ancestry. California LP continues active on a number of fronts, manning a booth at the Auburn State Fair, holding a wine tasting party to raise money for Fran Youngstein's New York mayoralty race? Wouldn't it be mayoral race? That word, I've never seen that word before in my life. Have you guys ever seen this word before? Mayoralty? I don't know. That doesn't seem right to me. And inviting prominent libertarian and libertarian-leaning speakers to address regional meetings. Reardon, that is great. What would be ironic is a t-shirt that reads, "I'm for topless entertainment." I like it. I like it. Yeah, to me it should just be mayoral race, not mayoralty race. I don't know. That just seems kind of like, I don't know. I don't like it. Okay. LPC was also active in supporting the narrowly defeated Proposition 1, which would have placed a constitutional limit on state spending. John Hospers drew a crowd of about 175 speaking on libertarianism. Notice back then they didn't distinguish between capital L and little l. Everything's little l. Have you noticed that so far? At the TR Systems plant in Redondo Beach, and was received very well. Yeah, I think that's a Freudian slip, Mike. I agree with you. State Finance Chairman Bruce Stoller had set up an arrangement whereby contributions to LPC can be put on your, now this is a card that isn't around anymore, Bank AmeriCard. One word, Bank AmeriCard. I didn't even know, I thought only not American Express. I thought only Diners Club was around at this time. Colorado. Yay, let's talk about Colorado. Colorado LP held its annual convention in Denver, November 3rd, with about 45 people attending. Speakers included Doctors John Nelson and James J. Martin. Never heard of them. Maybe you guys can give me some info on them. Bill Froh was elected to a second term as state chairman. Mike, have we ever heard of Bill Froh before? Let me pull up a new Lpedia tab here because I want to show you guys what I do as I examine these LP news, because I don't want you to think all I'm doing is just like doing a show on it. What I do when I find information is I go then to the articles on these parties, for instance, Colorado, and I look at, like, say, where's past officials? Committee, board of directors, prominent, don't want them. Previous officials. And let's see if this guy's name was ever listed as a chair. Look, we're missing the entire history of Colorado from 72 to 80. So we just filled in a piece of history. I will go in and add this guy's name because apparently he was chair immediately after Luke Zell. And in 73, we must have had 1-year terms then. Maybe Luke Zell was only chairman for a little while, was elected to a second term. So I fill in history while I'm doing these shows with you guys, just so you know, like other things that I do. So let's close. What did I do? Okay, yeah, right here. Okay, so here we go. We learned something new about Colorado. Where do we? Okay, second term as state chairman, and a resolution opposing U.S. involvement in the Mid-East war was passed. I will also document that in a list of Colorado resolutions, so I wish we had the exact language. Colorado LP will hold another convention in the spring. So they held a convention on November. They used to have 2 conventions, and check that out, Mike, to choose its candidates for the 74 elections and to launch a ballot referendum promoting some libertarian goal. I guess they didn't know what goal they wanted to do yet. Connecticut LP has doubled in size again to 16 members, so they went from 8 to 16, due to the diligent efforts of Fran Moore. We talked about Fran a bunch. And yeah, Luke Zell is the guy who it was his house where the Libertarian Party was officially formed, who took over the then moribund Connecticut Party last June. Before we continue, I forgot something. You guys are not keeping me on my grifting schedule. Remember, I want to attend the LNC meeting in Massachusetts for multiple reasons. One, to confront the LNC about the barrel they've been put over by the JC. But secondly, and more importantly, and this other item is so much more important, I might not even get to mention the first thing I just mentioned. I want to support the Delaware Party. I would like to have someone else there who will confront them on the JC thing and let me deal with defending Delaware, or vice versa. But Delaware's more important to me than my thing. Okay, so what I was getting at with that is all super chats, which I did get one earlier, in these shows, ever since I first announced that I wanted to go, which I think's been like the past 3 shows, are all dedicated to sending me to Massachusetts. I'll give you a total figure raised next show. Florida LP is reorganizing once again. So I think it's only been a couple years and they're already reorganizing. And their new state chairman is Charles Breeden of Tampa. I use moribund a lot. That's another word that needs to come back. And hello, Julian. I will go to the Florida LP page and see if that chairman is noted. If not, I will add it. Hawaii LP has become publication of a lively newsletter called Free! I have never heard of that before. I would love to get some issues of that. See, we're learning I'm learning a lot that I can fill in now. The first issue contains some sage observations on foreign affairs. Hopefully, I will be able to find some. Yeah, the word moribund is, ironically, is moribund. Because I've never heard of this publication right here, free. Illinois LP is preparing for a major conference on December 15th. Scheduled speakers include gold investment expert Donald J. either Hop or Hoppy, going back up to the top here, Dr. R.S. Jaggard, a longtime crusader against government control of medicine. Fran Youngstein and Gary Greenberg of New York election fame are also expected to address the conference. And check out these fees. We now charge $200 and $300 for our conventions. You could get in for $5 in advance, $8 at the door. And thank you, Stephen. I'm going to put that on the screen just to encourage. $25 super chat for Massachusetts. Thank you. I'm quickly raising money to be able to go there. It's not an expensive trip. The plane tickets are going to cost me for two-way, round trip, I guess is what I'm trying to say, about $300. And I'll have to get a hotel unless I can find somebody to host me there. And, food and stuff like that. So this isn't a terribly expensive trip. Probably if I raise around $500 total, it's totally doable, particularly if I can get somebody to host me. Okay, let's continue. Kentucky LP is hosting, okay, this is funny, a free woman seminar. Do they mean that it's for women who are free, or that the seminar doesn't cost anything? I don't know. I just found that funny. A free woman's seminar on November 24th. Scheduled speakers include Tony Nathan, Sharon Presley, who ironically hates my guts because I'm against abortion, Susan Brown, Kay McAlpin, Bobby John, and Lida. I don't think I've ever seen that word. I almost read that as Lydia, but no, Lida Lewis. Ms. Lewis is the current Miss Kentucky. Oh, we're going to have to look her up. Hats off to Kentucky LP for sponsoring the first libertarian-oriented women's lib convocation. The FWS will be held at Stouffer's Louisville Inn, and the registration is just $3.50. Yeah, Ryan, I guess I do need a goal meter. I'm such a sucky grifter. Louisiana LP chairman Jerry Millett recently appeared on television, Channel 10 in Lafayette, to speak out against gasoline price controls. His speech was also reported in the Baton Rouge Morning Advocate. I will look that up on newspapers.com. Louisiana LP now has 33 members, making it the only state in the Deep South with a significant LP membership. Interesting. Maryland LP is the success story of the season. Starting from scratch only 5 months ago, the Free State LP, I thought New Hampshire was the Free State. Is that like the slogan of Maryland? I guess we'll find out. Has grown to 74 members, 52 of whom attended the state's first annual convention on November 3rd. Featured speakers were Roger McBride and Region 7 Executive Committee Representative Eric Scott Royce of Virginia. The LNC was not called the LNZ at that time. It was called the Executive Committee. MLP now has a newsletter, Toward Liberty, which I've never heard of, and has produced the best-looking graphic material we've seen to date from any state LP organization. Well, we're going to need to look for that. William Bobick, former temporary state chairman, has been elected as the first permanent chairman. So here's some more info. I doubt that's already known on LPedia. Minnesota LP chairman Richard Kleinow appeared on Kino Radio for 2.5 hours. I wonder if that's recorded anywhere, to speak on libertarianism. The New Hampshire LP has been active in the formation of the Coalition for Freedom. Check this out. So I guess New Hampshire has always been kind of like this. An umbrella organization formed to enable New Hampshire libertarian and conservative groups to cooperate on issues of common concern. Now, here's just a little history buff stuff for you here. You probably noticed. This word didn't become one word until fairly recently. It was hyphenated for most of its history. Now, cooperate is one word. It isn't hyphenated like that. Well, it's still one word here, but it wasn't hyphenated. Be interesting to learn when that language shift happened. New Jersey LP members were active both in the New York campaign. I really like how all these states are involved in each other and in their own. Goodson for governor. We talked about that last LP time capsule campaign. Results on the Goodson effort are not yet available. NJLP Chairman Bob Steiner has announced that he intends to run for Congress next year. And Ryan says, let me put this on the screen. Maryland was nicknamed the Free State when their constitution took effect, abolishing slavery and its borders. Okay, that's a really interesting bit of trivia. Thank you so much. And the date Ryan gives of November 1st, 1864. I love the trivia. Thank you. So let's take that off the screen and go back. Okay. New York, Free Libertarian Party. Remember, we talked about this a lot. They were not allowed to be called the Libertarian Party for a while, so they called themselves the Free Libertarian Party. Now has well over 200 members. That's pretty good for this period of time. Sanford P. Cohen, who is mounting a formidable campaign for next year's 25th District Congressional election, has been chosen to succeed Mark Frazier of Massachusetts as one of Region 8's 2 Executive Committee representatives. Sandy has attracted considerable attention with his campaign posters, which feature a nude photo of himself. I want one of these posters. And a strategically placed telephone. Oh, the respectability police, the decorum police would be so upset. Oh my God, I love it. The posters, which bear the slogan, "A candidate with nothing to hide," are available for, and it gives the prices from Citizens for Cohen. The incumbent congressman in Sandy's district is Hamilton Fish Jr., who received the lowest score of any GOP congressman in the Royce Report. Okay, continuing. Ohio LP held its annual convention October 20th, and I do note these convention dates as well in Lpedia. I do a lot of work after these shows updating Lpedia. With about 1/3 of the state's 70 members attending, Kate Haroff was reelected state chairman, and John D. Jager was chosen as vice chairman, and he's from Cincinnati. And Linda Bunyan. Oh, they have two. Okay. So they had a Cincinnati and an Akron vice chairman. 11 resolutions were passed. Among them, calls for an end to foreign aid, the repeal of the Selective Service Act, the Federal Reserve Act, and the 16th Amendment. Ohio LP members are now engaged in a petition drive to get Kay Haroff on the ballot as an independent candidate for U.S. Senate next year. Oklahoma LP has published a very professional newsletter/brochure entitled Declare Your Independence. I have seen that. And there's, check out the live chat for listeners who are giving some really interesting historical information about how slavery was still legal, during the time that some of these declarations were made, where we're talking about Maryland being the free state, which sets forth the Oklahoma Party's stance on major issues of the day and includes a history of the LP. We have that Declare Your Independence brochure. I don't know if I have that here. I'm going to look for that. Past Oklahoma Chairman D. Frank Robinson, yay, who wrote one of my minority opinions in the JC, is working on an election financing reform plan that would decrease rather than increase government control of candidates. That has always been DeFrank's issue. Just so you know, we're talking 1973, and he was talking about ending ballot censorship back then, while still assuring protection against political bribes. He has gotten considerable news coverage for his proposal, which he calls the secret voucher plan. I will look that up on newspapers.com. Oregon LP sent out a press release, right after the resignation of Spiro Agnew, which we're going to get into in a bonus episode. We're going to do a lot more of this Nixon stuff in a bonus episode. Telling of a telegram they had sent to President Nixon urging him to designate Tony Nathan as the new VP. Needless to say, it didn't happen. But the Oregon LP's action was a good example of using political events to gain publicity for libertarianism. Let me tell you a bad example of using political events to gain publicity for libertarianism. The National LP Twitter account said that the fact that Wyoming was declaring Liz Cheney no longer a part of their party or party leadership, I don't pay much attention to, Cheney was unprincipled. And they got completely ratioed because people noted the irony of them throwing out their secretary while condemning Wyoming for throwing out somebody out of their own party and calling it unprincipled. Somebody needs to teach whoever is the volunteer on LP National, it might be a staff member, I don't know, something about avoiding certain topics when the LP is involved in a certain controversy. Pennsylvania LP has initiated a program of having every member write at least one letter to the editor every month. If we did that in Colorado, we would dominate Colorado. SIL's Don Ernstberger got up an expedition to go work on Fran Youngstein's campaign the weekend before the election. Those of you who are patrons of mine know that we've been talking about Don Ernstberger and the Society for Individual Liberty in going over the book Radicals for Capitalism. A new episode of that is coming out this weekend. The JC thing kind of occupied my attention. Texas LP is moving forward with plans to make the 74 National Convention even bigger and better than the last two. Harris County, Houston, LP, has been active in a drive to block a public, i.e. government, transit system in the Houston area. Mike Holmes, he's the guy who wrote American Libertarian. I showed you guys an issue of that last show. Where were we at? And Jeff Calver appeared on radio station KIKK to debate Houston's city controller on this subject. Harris County LP Secretary Elaine Sowers has already announced her candidacy for U.S. Senate in 1976. What's with my tongue today? Utah LP Vice Chairman Carl Bray, we did a whole show on him, rest in peace. A national leader in the tax resistant movement, he turned out to be a martyr for the tax resistance movement, ran for Salt Lake City Commission and received 4% of the vote. Carl has announced that he will run for LP national chairman next year unless the IRS puts me in jail first. I don't know if the IRS put him in jail, but he did not win LP chairman. Washington LP now has a newsletter, Shockwave, which I've never heard of, and is engaged in a recruiting drive to build membership. Members are setting up open meetings around the state at which Dr. Hosper's record, and I tried to find this record, and what they mean by record, they mean actually like an LP. An LP on the LP, The Politics of Liberty. I've been unable to find it. If you guys can find it, I would love to see that. Is played with discussion following. State Chairman Skip Barron, who works nights, has made himself available to speak to high school groups during the day. Lydia, that's Mike and I shtick, but this isn't Cultivar O&R, Mike. Okay, up Wisconsin. LP held its annual convention on October 5th and 6th. And its speakers were Jack Steinhebler, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Assistant Majority Leader of the Wisconsin State Senate, and Tony Nathan. In his speech, Steinhebler, whatever, called for a re-declaration of independence. Love it. Officers were elected for the coming year, with Jim Millard chosen to continue as state chairman. The Wisconsin Party plans to field a candidate for governor next year. We're going to go over the LP of Canada next time because I am running out of time. I have a meeting again with an affiliate, and I need to read some bylaws because it's about governing documents, blah, blah, blah. And I probably should read them first, and I've been very, very busy. So I thank you, everyone. Let me put myself back up on the screen here. You guys put on your thinking caps, though, for a potential host for... I got my pimp jacket on now. A potential co-host for me for the language/history show I'd like to do. Again, I'm really searching for the perfect person. It might be one of you guys, but it might also be Mike. Kind of what I'm doing right now is on the down low, and I can't tell anybody about it, or else I would have you help me with taking a look at these bylaws. I'll get permission, though. I say that there's somebody else who would like to assist, because I would love to have your perspective as well. And we still need to talk. I know. I just, with work, to be honest with you, I'm exhausted from working an 8-hour day now. We'll probably talk over the weekend. If you'd like, Mike, would you like to come volunteer for the Castle Rock Starlighting on Saturday? Thank you for volunteering. We need volunteers, though, literally. We do. It's only me, Sean, and Wayne right now. And it's a lot of fun. The Castle Rock Starlighting is a lot of fun. All right. And we do have to figure out some scheduling. But we can remote. We can remote. But that's it for tonight. I'm got to go do my Zoom meeting. Tomorrow night, I'm either going to... Oh, okay, you can't get out right now. That's fine. Anyone who is in Colorado who would like to volunteer for the Castle Rock Starlighting, please do. We need volunteers. And I would like not to be at the booth. I like walking around in the crowd with signs. That draws a lot of attention. I would like to walk around with some anti-mandate signs. So if I don't have to actually be at the booth, I get to walk around with signs and be an exhibitionist, which I'm very good at. So we, I think that was it. That was it. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow I am either going to do the I'm either going to do a bonus, so episode 17A of this LP time capsule, or start talking about Delaware. What's making me hesitant to start talking about Delaware is because it's going to be another rant against the LNC. And frankly, even though I know you guys think I live for that, I don't. I'm kind of tired of talking about the LNC. It doesn't make me happy. LP history makes me happy. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I guess it depends on how much time I have to prepare, because it is going to take a lot of preparation to talk about Delaware. And with my work schedule, I just don't know. I'm so tired. I am so tired right now with the anxiety and everything else. And Shakespeare, Reardon was talking about Shakespeare, the English language is unrecognizable. Yes, Middle English is unrecognizable. A lot of that has to do with the Great Vowel Shift, which is a very interesting discussion. But let's conclude for this evening. Before we conclude, I have remember there's a new tier on Pink Flame of Liberty. I added another level of patronage, and the benefits of that, the perks, that is advertising on this show, but also advertising on my radio show. So it's a $50 a month level. So, but you get advertising. You're basically paying for advertising and helping to support me. I have a new person who announced last show that they upped they were previously a top donor, and they upped now to the top tier, but I haven't had a chance to edit the closing video yet. So his name does not yet appear. I apologize. But the name of the top tier is, like what are the names of my tiers so far? It's like Pink is the New Gold. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Pinkies, and Flames of Liberty. I think those are the names of my tiers. Well, the new top tier is called Pinker Than Thou. So, my closing credits only show one member who's Pinker Than Thou, but we now have 2 members. So I thank you very much. It helps. The extra between the 25 and the 50 goes to support my radio show. Because pay to play is radio today. I have to pay for my radio time. And it's worth it to me because it's a mostly conservative station full of Trumpertarians. And I like triggering them by showing how they are not really... Ooh, pinky swear. Wouldn't that be great? Mike, I might have to do that. I needed you as my creative director. That's good. I love it. So I love being on this station that's mostly Trumpers because all I do is talk about how the Republican Party isn't really about freedom. And I want to get more libertarians on this station. So it is totally worth it for me to pay for time because I am spreading actual liberty rather than the fake liberty that the Republicans try to spread. Okay? So just as you're watching this, know that the host of Daniel 3, Biblical Anarchy, is also Pinker Than Thou. I just need to add him to the tier. Have a good night, everyone, and I will, hopefully, God willing, talk to you tomorrow. Till then, live free, mi guapas de libertad.
What you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not